You saw how leaning forward just kind of like made me look more heavier up top, but leaning backwards, it kind of shrunk my upper body area. Hey there, it's Danny. If you're watching this, you probably like taking photos but don't know how to properly take them. Or maybe you just want to know how to take photos in general. Maybe you might actually be more inclined to if you knew how to. So if either of those are you, then keep watching. So this is going to be for your smartphone. We're gonna learn how to take photos with your own phone and practicing with the self-facing camera. So a couple things that I want to remind you. First, our upper body being bigger than our lower bodies, for some of us, this can make us look athletic. Maybe that athletic look might be for you. That upper, more built look on the top is associated with people who work out their arm muscles more and their shoulders and their back muscles too. So you might actually like it more than you think. Number two, you should play with angles. Keep in mind that the direction that your shoulder is in can really change how you look. See how when I'm facing forward and I'm just head on, it's not really dynamic, it's just head on. But as soon as I maybe change the angle of my hip, bring one shoulder back, or maybe the other shoulder back, now it starts to look more dynamic and purposeful. Number three, use your camera's timer. It will help you so much in the long run, because if you don't have somebody to take your photos with you, or you don't feel like bothering your friend, cousin, sister, mom, whatever, like a cajillion times to take photos of you, then you can prop your phone up on something and put the timer on, and that way you're able to position yourself and get ready for the photo as if somebody were taking the photo for you. This does take some practice, so definitely in your leisure time, just get used to putting on the timer and just posing in the photos as well. So number four, keep in mind that your back camera has a higher quality than your front facing camera. If you're at home and you're in a more darker situation versus outside in this bright light, you can get away with using the front facing camera if you're outside, outdoors, underneath bright light and such like that. But if you're indoors, try using a standing mirror behind your camera or behind your phone, so that you're able to look at yourself when you're taking your photo. And on top of that, you can look at the front facing camera at the same time, so that you know where you're positioned inside the frame. Number five, just relax. It's just you and the camera, and there's no one else to watch what you're doing or to judge you as well. You are just trying to practice and see what you look like. If you approve of it, then you post it. If not, then nobody sees it. Starting with the first rule, anything that's closer to the camera is going to appear larger or longer, and anything farther will appear shorter or smaller. So for instance, as you can see on the screen recording, I am going to put 1 foot forward. I'm going to bring my one hip back, and I'm going to bring one of my shoulders backwards as well, and I'm going to leave my arms long. So this is one of the photos that I would take. So you can see I got the timer going. And what helps is that I have the correct colors on as well. So my bottom half, it's brighter to have that larger appearance, because you know like how they say that black is slimming and white makes you look bigger? Well, that's the concept here. I'm trying to make my bottom half look bigger and my top half look smaller. So this thick strapped crop going on, it helps with what I'm doing right now for my photos. And the photos that you do, you can base it off your outfits too. So I have like I have these shoes that maybe I want to like show off, maybe I like them, so maybe I might do something like that. where I'm playing with the angles. And I'm also on an incline too, so that's why I'm kind of like playing with that. So the next thing I'm going to note is distributing your weight through your hips. This is head on, right? So nothing fancy. I look like bleh. But once I start to shift the weight from one side to the other, pointing my toes outwards, inwards, it gives different effects. So just play with what you like. You can even like go on Instagram and see how some, or like just social media in general, just photos in general, just check out photos in general of different people doing different poses of things that you may like and try to emulate it in the mirror, see if it works for you. But like as an inverted triangle, things to keep in mind is like, you know, trying to play with a hip that's really small, you know, like I don't have hips, I don't have like a gigantic butt, like I'm not a Nicki Minaj, but I can give the illusion that I have something closer. So as you can see, it starts to give shape through the body, and then leaning forward versus leaning backwards makes a hell of a lot of a difference. So here's me leaning forward, so I'm going to take a photo of this actually. One has more of like a model-y like type effect. These tips are from models themselves because, you know, there's a good amount of models out there that may have that body shape too and they don't have much on them to work with. So, you know, they have to try to create those shapes and angles with their body. So you saw how leaning forward just kind of like made me look more heavier up top, but leaning backwards, it kind of shrunk my upper body area. So another thing we could play with is like pointing toes outwards, inwards, while creating those angles. Your legs, see that angle that I'm creating by like bringing my hip outwards and trying to accentuate, like I don't have side hips, right? I need to create that side hip look by bringing the largest part of me, which is around this part of my derriere right here, and I'm bringing that forward to try to give that illusion like it's there. So one thing you might have noticed is that I have my hands down at all times. And it's because when you put your hands on your hips, it kind of shortens you and it makes you look like smaller around the torso area. So to help create that long, strong, confident look throughout your body, you are going to keep those arms down if you would like to have that look. One hand is on my thigh, the other one's on my other thigh, so I like, just as you can see, turning to the side, one leg out, foot turned, right? So this is one of my favorite ways to have my hands. And if you do choose to have your hand on your hip, I would recommend it would be the backhand. The backhand where it's hidden, where it's smaller anyways, so it doesn't really matter. So, like so. See, like that's not too bad. And this is completely hidden, so that doesn't matter. Instead of you having like your hands like down like this, maybe you want to hide it. Maybe you want to show the little elbow. Like so. If you would like to make your booty pop in pictures, here are some tiny tips. So remember, anything closer to the camera, it will appear bigger. And anything farther will appear smaller. So you see how that cheek change happened? So it looks much more rounder, much more fuller like this, versus if it were like this, it looks smaller. So you want to keep the closer leg towards the camera. And remember, the shoulder thing never leaves. You always have to keep that. So you have to kind of like think of both at the same time. So you can kind of hit it with one of these, 1 foot outwards. Remember the toes. Keep that in mind. The background that I have doesn't really allow, but a good thing to do is to play with your environment if there's anything in your area that might help you with your look or your photo, your aesthetic, or to just help give more dynamic in general. So another tip I definitely should have added in is that you will be taking a bunch of photos. Don't be surprised if you have like 100, 150 photos. Like, you have to take a lot to find that one that you're going to be posting. This is completely normal, like for people that take pictures of themselves, or even just photographers in general. Like, you know, I've done photography myself, I've worked with photographers. It's completely normal. You're gonna have a bunch of photos in your reel, and that's okay. You have to keep going and going and going until you find that one that you like, and it might be in the moment that you find it too. That's it. That's how you take photos, or learn to take photos with your phone, front-facing camera, and or mirror. If you like videos like this, definitely give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It lets me know that I should keep doing stuff like this. And also follow me on Instagram. You can use my photos as reference and for you to have ideas on what to do in your photos. Definitely copy me. That's what everyone does. Just copy me. So here's my Instagram right here. Go ahead and give me a follow. And comment down below if you have any questions. Until next time, see ya. Bye.